Today I'm going to talk about one of the cures to burnout and our energy loss. Okay, sometimes in life we'll be going and we'll actually feel like we have no energy. We're drained all the time. It's like our battery is always running at 10%. We can't get a recharge. And we're just struggling, okay? We're not living in our peak performance. We're not being as effective. We're not being as present. We're not enjoying our life. We're not having fun. All of these things that suck, okay? We don't want that, all right? The point of this video is to help you to not feel like that anymore. And this is one of the methods that I've personally done. And it needs to be done multiple times a year for sure. I'm doing one again right now, and that's why I figured I'd share it with you, okay? So I want to explain to you what the problem is. So when we feel like a lack of energy, when we feel like we have no purpose, when we feel like stuck, when we have a lack of clarity in life, we feel cloudy, we feel dark, we just are not having a good time. The best way I can describe it is we are carrying a weight or a imaginary weight or energy. You could call it a demon is attached to us, whatever you want to call it. There's something attached to us that needs to be broken, okay? And that's the best way I can describe it to you. So let's just go on and I'm just going to describe. I drew it out with my expert drawing skills. Maybe I should quit YouTube and draw full time. But this is what a peak human should be, 100%. Green is good, okay? So green is good. Green is our peak performance. We're happy. We're living a great life, okay? Now, what happens is over time, we exist in the world. And in the world, there are positive and negative influences around us, okay? That could be on YouTube. It could be on TV shows. It could be friends. It could be things I ate. It could be things I've done. Places I've given my energy to, all of these things, okay? So what's going to happen is we take this perfect 100% battery life and we expose it to the world. And the world is a cruel place. It is not perfect. There's a lot of bad stuff that goes on. And we, as social beings and things like that, we actually not only give out energy, but we can actually absorb it as well, okay? So basically, without being super spiritual or anything like that, what's happening is there are attacks on the body and the mind from other areas. Maybe let's just say one is, let's just say nicotine, let's just say marijuana, let's just say Netflix, let's just say anger or resentment, okay? And so what's happening is if you imagine our body going from green to all these little things coming at us, now we have positive influences that are kind of balancing it out, but they'll be like little things. Let's just say anger, okay? I have some resentment. And what happens is it kind of causes a wound on our body. And that wound creates a weight. Now, these are weights. This is like one of those like anvil. This looked like a weight to me, and this is kind of like one of those like balls on a chain. So what happens is the more negative influences that we let in our sphere, the more weighed down we are going to be, okay? So what happens is the more weight, and fast food could be something. I wrote food makes you stupid on here because I wanted to share that. I have a friend, he's Puerto Rican, and he specifically shared, and it was in Spanish, so I was unable to translate it, and I forgot what the exact quote, but basically he said the scientists say food makes you stupid, okay? And that's paraphrasing what they're saying. If anyone knows what that phrase is in Spanish, please comment it below, but I don't remember. But the scientists say food makes you stupid, okay? So when we eat like a bunch of garbage, that is also adding a weight. And while we don't see it, what's happening is like weight is being, energies or whatever you want to call it, are being, infections are being attached to our body all over, okay? And these weights continuously go on with us as we continue the habits and continue those emotions and feelings and things like that, until eventually we get to this point of burnout or energy drain where you're just like completely paralyzed, okay? Maybe you're giving too much energy towards money, and that's causing like a little infection inside of you. So what's happening is over time, this is eventually going to get a weight that is unbearable, and you're just going to be drained and you just can't do anything anymore, okay? So the cure to this is actually found in a lot of major religions, and they do it for spiritual reasons or whatever, but I actually think if you look with the scientists, what the scientists are saying, that fasting is the key. Why do I know this? This is because this is what I've personally done and experienced. I'm not trying to claim something like, hey, I'm not talking about something that I don't actually know or do. I'm talking about something that I've done, and this helped me. What we're doing is we're basically doing a system reboot, okay? So imagine we've got a bunch of viruses in our computer, and what we're doing is we're doing a full system wipe, basically. We're doing we're gonna leave the basic programming on there, but we're doing a full system wipe. And so what we need to do is just step back from whatever we're doing. Maybe we're working too much. Maybe we're hanging out with too many friends. Maybe we're watching too much Netflix, smoking too much weed, watching a lot of porn, whatever we're doing, okay? So what's happening here is we need to do a fast, and a fast does not necessarily always mean food. What we're doing is a dopamine detox and getting our body into autophagy. So there's two things here. Autophagy, what's happening is when we fast, when we get into a state of fasting, and let's just say we just have water. Let's say we do a 24 to 48 or hour fast or something like that. Maybe a 72 hour, a 3-day fast where we just relax. And you don't have to do... you got to do whatever works for you. So everyone's going to look differently. Maybe you just eat 1 meal a day instead of 0 meals a day, okay? You got to figure out exactly what you're going to do. But what we're doing is we're basically just doing a system reset, and we're just saying, you know what? All the things that I'm doing, I'm just going to cut it off right now, and I'm just going to stop for like 1 to 3 days, preferably closer to 3. In my experience, I had to like take off a whole week of work and really just let my body reset. Maybe you can spiritually recalibrate if you believe in God or something like that, or whatever. But what I need to do is I just need to just pull myself out of the situation, and all those things that I'm going to do, I'm getting rid of them, okay? So if I'm doing, looking at too many reels, I'm doing a 3-day fast from my phone. Now, it works, in my experience, it works best when you do this all at one time and do a full system clean out. We're not just like, I'm fasting from one thing, because like, okay, let's just say we like eliminate this little one, but we still got all those. And so what we need to do is like a full system reset. And when we do a full reset, as we then ease back into life, we're going to be more rejuvenated, okay? So what I need to do is just stop eating all food, okay? So what's going to happen is, let's just say sugar. Your body's going to get like addicted to sugar, or maybe you want really salty or shitty snacks, whatever it is. We need to just stop eating, okay? You just got to stop eating. If you smoke any weed, do any nicotine, drinking any alcohol, we need to just stop doing that, okay? If we're watching reels, just lock the phone, just text your parents or friends, hey, look, I'm not going to be on my phone, I'm completely fine for the next 3 days. And just lock it in like a timed, if you have to do that, lock it like in a timed release safe or something. And what's going to happen is we're going to just remove ourselves from all those situations, okay? And we're just going to leave ourselves to be empty, all right? And we're just going to sit in our house. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you just rent like an Airbnb and just go walk in the wilderness or sit by a lake. Whatever you need to do, we just go to the beach. What I need to do is just cut off all of those things like immediately from what I've been doing, okay? And maybe I need to spend time with God. Maybe I need to just start reading a book, okay? Maybe I get out of the world and I just start reading a book instead, okay? Maybe I have a book that I'm reading. It could be like the Bible or the Quran or whatever you want to read, or it could be something like Mindset by Dweck. You know what? I'll put this in the affiliate link because this is a really good book about fixed versus growth mindset. And this has just been what's worked for me, okay? When I've had a lot of problems that kind of built up, I actually, you know, I just felt like I just went from completely oppressed to completely free in like a matter of a week. And that's what I did prior to starting a YouTube channel. I felt that clarity, and I was like, all these confusing thoughts and maybe all these, and I almost want to say that all these weights are now putting more thoughts in my brain that are bad versus when I'm free. Now I got good thoughts going in my brain. But I just had the clarity, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, because what happens is our body is going to do that reset. And what's going to happen is our dopamine baseline is going to basically rise. And what that means is you find more enjoyment. You get more dopamine, you get more enjoyment from doing basic, simple tasks like doing your dishes, going for a walk, talking with a friend. When you cut out all this crap, your base level of enjoyment, like your base quality of life, just rises, okay? And now we don't have all these attachments that are attached to us, and we can just enjoy life. Versus when we have all these high stimulation things like reels and smoking weed and doing coke or whatever we're doing, our body needs to be heightened to this specific stimulation level in order to feel good. So basically what happens is our dopamine, the more stimulated we get, the lower our dopamine baseline is. So what happens is, when I'm not doing substances, I feel like shit, okay? I feel like crap because I need to be up here, okay? I need that hit. I need to watch porn. I need all this other stuff, okay? So what's going to happen is when we stop needing to be up here, we don't go from high to low, high to low, high to low. We just raise our baseline up, and we are like always in a state of moderate enjoyment, and maybe we get a little bit more dopamine when we do our dishes or do our laundry or make a YouTube video. But this is the best way that I can describe it, okay? We need to do a system clean out, like a system reboot, and this provides clarity for us. We get these attachments, and we also have autophagy, okay? And I would almost say, I'm not a scientist, but I would almost say all these negative things are then going to start affecting our body. I'll give you a testimony of something that happened to me, okay? I would say I almost had like resentment, or I was like really having a bad emotion. And I actually had like this lymph node right here, right on the side of my neck, literally grew to like the size of like a grape. I thought I had cancer. I never went to the doctor, but I was like, dude, should I just take a knife and cut this out? Is this like cancer? I have this like huge lump in my neck, and I'm probably like 24, 25. You shouldn't have that. And I one day just released, and I just decided that I was like, I guess I was really in a state of needing to be successful to be happy. So I was really results based. Like I couldn't just enjoy life. I had to be like being successful. I had to be working hard. I needed to be like having the results, or else I could not enjoy life. I was like super irritated, and I was just maybe resenting some of the experiences that I had. So maybe I would say resentment might have been something that was building up. But basically in my personal experience, because I'm not a doctor, I'm just telling you what happened to me. Literally the moment I released that, this thing was here for months. It probably was there for like 6 months. I was like seriously concerned about this lump on the side of my neck. And like the moment I like released, like literally 3 days later, I woke up and I was like, holy shit, it's gone. It just like miraculously disappeared. So that's why I like to use this example, because these negative energies or whatever is happening to us is actually causing physical harm. And when we fast and we let our body, when we don't eat and we cleanse ourselves from using all these things, our body basically eats itself. It eats all of the bad cells that are there and burns that into energy. And once it eats all that stuff, there's no more bad stuff. And it's like my system is reset, my brain can be reset, and depending on your and all I'm just gonna say is try it out. The degree to which you are struggling. If you really feel drained all the time, like for example, this is what started this. I've been working like 50 plus hours a week every week. I work 6 days a week at my job outside of YouTube here. And I was just drained. I woke up and I literally would feel dead inside every single day recently. And now I did this fast earlier this year. And this is why I learned this, because that you got to do it again, because your body, I literally learned this process because this is how I experienced it in life. Slowly but surely, my body became this, and then I eventually got to this point. And so I've been like slowly fasting. I'm getting down to like 1 meal a day, and maybe today or tomorrow. I mean, I had a light meal, but I'll have like just a little protein or something like that. And I try to really just not do anything that, I really just try not to do anything, not looking at my phone or anything like that. Just relax and get centered, make some YouTube videos and things like that. So that's how I learned this, through experience and what I need to do again. And actually, one of the big weights for me was actually spending too much energy at my job. And I'm really about, I want to be successful. I want to make money while I'm young, use the time where I'm young and single to make as much money as possible. And honestly, I was putting too much emphasis on money to the point where it was causing an infection and a weight on me. And so I make my own schedule at work. So I'm choosing to work 6 days a week. And I just decided, you know what? I'm going to work a really short shift yesterday. I'm actually going to take off today and take off tomorrow. And you know what? The moment I went on my schedule and just took off my shifts, I felt so free. I felt like a weight was just lifted. Like I just opened a spiritual door and just like life was so much better. Like I must have made a spiritual or biological shift by just saying, you know what? Sure, I do need that money. I really want that money. And that's a lot of money I'm giving up because that's all overtime pay. But I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to prioritize my health over the money. And like, I just felt like a weight was just lifted. Like I just made the right decision. And I'm a hard worker. I like to be disciplined, but I just learned that this was what was happening. Okay, I just needed to take a step back. So that's what I want to share with you guys. If you've had any experiences with fasting or autophagy or anything like that, or any other ways that you've kind of found more clarity in your life, please put that in the comment section, because this is not just the Knowledgeable Nick show. This is the Knowledgeable Nick plus the comment section show. Have a wonderful day, guys.